A couple of years ago, we talked about the dream of being able to plant an international church someday. We were actually ready to make an announcement last year, but due to some ridiculous virus and a pandemic, we decided to just kind of put things on hold a little bit. Well, today we move one step closer to that dream actually becoming a reality. Together with the churches in Argentina, the family of churches in Argentina, we will plant a new church in Montevideo, Uruguay in 2023. So beginning this year, our missions will go towards supporting Haiti as well as collecting for our new church plant in 2023. Incidentally, our missions collection this year will be on Sunday, June 27th. Now, you might be asking, well, why Montevideo, Uruguay? For those who do not speak Spanish, it looks like Montevideo, Uruguay. Uruguay is the only country right now in South America that does not currently have a church from our fellowship. The only country in South America. In fact, we believe it might be one of 2 or 3 countries in the entire Western Hemisphere that we do not have a church from our fellowship in. So this is obviously a place that we really want to have a church in. Now, technically, this will be a replant because there was a church plant in Montevideo back in 2000. But unfortunately, the church sort of dissipated just a few years later. There were other locations that were considered. But to be quite honest, from examining the different locations, it was very clear that the resources that we could bring were most needed in Uruguay and honestly in South America as a whole. Also, it was very important to us that we didn't just send money somewhere. We wanted to really be connected to the church. We wanted to be involved. Hopefully, I know there have been some of us that have considered and been waiting for us to make this announcement because they've wanted to go on this mission team. And I believe there will be some members here in Central Jersey who will go to Uruguay to plant this church. We wanted to be involved in really, figuring out the leaders and taking part in that. One of the really cool moments in the process actually happened in Jakarta, Indonesia last year. If you guys remember, I had to go there last year for a meeting of the 32 regional family chairs in our worldwide fellowship. As you remember, I dreaded that trip like I do every trip. I hate going on these trips, especially on the other side of the planet. Not to mention, there was something going around at that time, at the very beginning. I went back in February of last year. But, I went, and my plan going there was to speak to a brother that led the church. He served as an elder and evangelist in the church in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And I wanted to speak to him because I wanted to let him know, hey, we have this desire and this dream to really plant a church in Uruguay. And I was told, hey, if you want to do any work down there, he's the guy to talk to. So we set up a meeting. The very first morning we were there over breakfast to discuss. When I mentioned our desire to plant a church in Montevideo, as I started speaking and I'm telling him hey, this is our dream, this is our desire, this is what we want to do, he just started smiling and laughing. And I said, well, what's going on? I mean, are you happy? Are you laughing? What's something funny? What's going on? And he says, well, no, I got to tell you that right before I left Buenos Aires, a couple from Uruguay. Actually, the only two remaining members from the original, they were converted as part of the church plant. They moved to Buenos Aires when the church kind of dissipated in Uruguay, moved to Buenos Aires. So those two people, the only ones that were left, happened to go up to him right before he left for Jakarta, Indonesia, and just approached him about pleading, can we make plans to replant the church in Uruguay? And he felt bad. He says, I felt bad because, I told him, I said, we don't have the resources right now to do that. And, let's just pray about it and see what God does. And so he left, and little did he know, on the first morning in Jakarta, Indonesia, here I go from Central Jersey, approached him and said, hey, not that we just want to help with any church. No, we want to help plant the church that your brother and sister just asked you if we could help plant that church. Well, it was pretty clear. We walked away feeling like, okay, the Spirit is guiding this process. And so today, we begin the process of planning for this replant and putting it all together. It is going to take us some time to gather the funds and the team and get everyone ready to do this, but we are super excited. Now, I know many of us know very little about the country. So what we did was we put together a little video. Now, I just want to let you know, this is it's like a travel promotional video. It's actually, most of the footage comes from Expedia. So it's designed to get you to want to go there and visit. Okay, that's the purpose of the video. But we personalized it a bit so that we could kind of get a little bit of a feel. And then at the end, there's a brief message from Sebastian Sierra, who's the brother who I spoke to in Jakarta, Indonesia, and helps to lead the church in Buenos Aires, Argentina. So without further ado, if we could play the video, and then we will continue.
Uruguay is nestled between Brazil and Argentina. While not as well known as its larger neighbors, this beautiful country is rich in its own culture and traditions. Its capital, Montevideo, is becoming one of the continent's favorite destinations. This gorgeous city is home to about 1.3 million people and covers a total area of 77.5 square miles. Montevideo is a place where colonial architecture and modern development balance each other out with ease. In between its high rises, stately mansions have been restored to their former glory and that hold theaters, museums, and luxurious hotels. If you add to that a warm subtropical climate, calming sea breezes, and miles of beach boulevard, you'll understand that this peaceful city was bound to get noticed. The news about Uruguay's revival is spreading fast. Within the past few decades, Montevideo has made a name for itself as one of the most habitable cities in South America, with advanced social policies and free education for all. Uruguay's public university, Universidad de la República en Montevideo, is the most prominent university of the country and is currently ranked as the 47th best university in Latin America. It holds a student body of approximately 110,000 students. For more proof that Montevideo is a favorable city, visitors can join the locals for a delicious meal at the Mercado del Puerto. Here, customers can take their pick of homegrown beef or lamb and then watch the experts grill it for them on the spot. Finally, another one of the city's most loved assets is a 19-mile-long promenade, La Rambla. It stretches out from the old town of Montevideo to its suburbs, and is considered to be the longest continuous sidewalk in the world. As you walk along it, you can enjoy the different aspects of Montevideo's community atmosphere and socially connect with others.
Hola, New Jersey. My name is Sebastián Serra. I'm an elder and a mission evangelist of the family of churches in Argentina. We want to thank you from the bottom of our heart for joining in the mission of taking the gospel to every nation, culture, and language. May God bless us in this spiritual adventure in Montevideo, Uruguay in 2023. Again, thank you and God bless you.